Hey everybody, it's me, John D. Villarreal, here on the John D. Villarreal Radio Show on 1210 AM Miami, The Man. The only station where you are the man. Now, we're talking about a lot of stuff. This is an Ask a Super Genius series that I'm also going to put up on YouTube. And we're rolling through what's been going on in the Trump administration. I think the hyper-partisanship, how crazy it's gotten. We're also talking specifically about the impeachment, in my opinion, quote-unquote scam, in terms of this, how this is affecting the American people and how real this all is. Now, it's real in terms of that the Democrats vote for impeachment, then they do, right? But in terms of, let's just say, the rationality of how this is all set up. We'll talk about the specifics of the Ukrainian thing, but I also want to talk about the insiders in DC. So we're going to talk this segment about the impeachment stuff and go into that. Next hour, we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about, it's so weird, all these amazing deals that these families of politicians seem to get, and how a lot of the families of politicians seem to get in all these elite schools at unprecedented rates, and how weird that is. And again, what does that mean for you as the American? It's not about me or JDV being a hater or anything like that, not at all. It's just about, do we have a fair system here? And what does this all mean? And when you put it all together, I don't think it's any surprise why you have this massive resistance to Trump, why you have the insiders. I don't care who you call them, or I don't know that there's necessarily even a conspiracy or anything like that. I think, the inside group, and if you look at what happened with the Mueller stuff and what the IG report, I think there will be some I wouldn't be surprised. How about that? Let's go with that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that there were, some plans and some machinations there. And again, it's politics. It's presidential politics. Extremely normal. There's always plans, right, when it comes to politics of one stripe or another. But we have a short segment here, so I'm going to get right into it. If you do want to join the program, I'll slow down. I'll take your call. We'll talk about it. We'll go back and forth. No problem. You can go 786-633-5927 is the call-in number. 786-633-5927. But now, I already talked about how the election of Trump was a shock and how there's been a never-ending scandal. If you haven't seen that, go look at the other video that I'm going to put up on YouTube here. And you can take a look at that other segment, find a podcast, something like that. Now we're talking about this impeachment, in my opinion, quote-unquote scam. First of all, this is a totally partisan setup. This is like Kavanaugh v2. We were told that we've never seen this before, right? So before I even get into all this type of stuff, let's just look at what's going on right now that are, in my opinion, observable factual situations. Very little is being done in public. These hearings are being held behind closed doors. It seems to be very partisan. I don't think the Republicans have much of I think we've seen some Republican Congress people come out on camera and on shows saying that, hey, we don't have a vote in this. We can't subpoena witnesses. We can't appear witnesses. We aren't having hearings in the public. So how are we going down the road of potentially impeaching a president without public hearings, without the right to face your accuser with the whistleblower? We'll get into that in a little bit. Without the right to call the witnesses, without open hearings. This is insane. It's insane. Apparently Nancy Pelosi has the power to do it, Speaker Pelosi, but do you understand how insane? We're supposed to sign on to this? This is like pass a bill, we have to pass it to know what's in it. It's like that kind of deal, right? And whether you support, Obamacare or anything like that, I want to get into that. I think there was a lot of surprises in there. I think there was a lot of people like, wow, I didn't like the premium. That's not an appropriate process. That's not an appropriate process to pass a major bill affecting 1/7 of the economy and people's health. And that, in my opinion, and that's certainly not an appropriate process to remove a duly elected president. That's craziness, right? So they can't question witnesses. They can't subpoena anyone. The Republicans basically have no rights. Everything's being done. A lot of this is being done in secret. There is no actual vote for impeachment yet, because they don't want to. There's like 31, 31, 35, I think it's 31 Democrats that won in purple or red districts that Trump won, and they don't want to have those people have to put a vote on, at least yet, because they got to get elected next year, and Pelosi and crew, if this blows up in their face, they can lose their majority. And Speaker Pelosi does not want to, she wants to remain Speaker. But we also have a situation where this is all action. A lot of this is action before the facts, right? So yeah, and and again, as Sean Hannity would say, Shifty Schiff, Chairman Schiff out there. I mean, I believe, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, that dude has been caught lying like a bunch. And I saw someone, I think it was Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan, great dude. I mean, this dude is, I'd love to have him on the show. He's so smart. And in terms of just the questions he asked, the prosecutor, that just all that type of stuff. And again, I don't know the dude personally, or I'm not speaking anything. I don't know what he's like in his personal life or anything like that. I'm saying of what I see as a partisan Republican, what I see of him on TV and how he conducts himself and how he, fights back some of these claims. I think from a partisan Republican standpoint, I think he's a good dude, right? And I'm not saying he is or isn't in his personal life. I just don't know him, right? I've never even met the dude, so that's all I'm saying. So anyway, he was saying something to the effect of no Republican in Washington believes anything that Schiff says. And so apparently Schiff went out there and said, hey, I don't know, I want to hear from the whistleblower. We have, I haven't talked to her, or so, I don't know. It was some statement that there was that they want, that he hadn't talked to the whistleblower, I believe. And then it comes to find out that, oh yes, this quote-unquote whistleblower did in fact talk to his office, and the whistleblower is a registered Democrat, and it's a very similar set of facts to what happened in the Kavanaugh thing, where there was contact with Senator Feinstein's office. They knew about it for a while. It didn't come out in the normal hearings, and then all of a sudden after elected, let's blow it up again and let's redo it. And again, how many times have you seen Democrats in elections where they barely lost asking for recounts? Oh, it's not right. I mean, we saw stuff going on in Georgia. We've had this potential stuff, and I think there was discussion of recount in Trump's election and stuff like that, and different. I mean, it's just nonstop. They never will admit that when they lose, and they never will, it doesn't matter. Like, even if they lose it, they act like they still won. So we don't know what this whole whistleblower person is, other than Democrat. They didn't even have firsthand knowledge. This was secondhand. I heard someone say, oh, that's the other thing I want to put out there. The rules for the whistleblowing stuff within the, I think, CIA, I believe this person is, I think, somehow connected to the CIA. I believe that's right. And surprise, surprise, right? Trump's having issues with some of the intelligence community, right? And right before this comes out, the rules for being a quote-unquote whistleblower are changed such that you do not no longer have you don't have to have first-hand knowledge. I think that happened literally in August. So put this all together. This is craziness, right? So allegedly, this person meets with Chairman Schiff before they become a whistleblower or something, or before it's public, whatever. The rules in the CIA or somewhere, the rules for whistleblowing are changed so that you don't have to have first-hand knowledge. They didn't even have first-hand knowledge of the call. All this stuff is done. Then we have it public. Oh my goodness, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Trump releases the transcript of the call. You have the various leaders talking about it, Trump, Ukrainian leaders, whatever. As Rush says, who needs a whistleblower now? We've got the transcript. Whistleblower wasn't even on the call. Now there's a second whistleblower. Oh, this whistleblower was on the call. Do you know how silly this is? We already have the transcript. Schiff lied about what was in the call. He's out there reading, making up his own transcript, or who knows what. We have the transcript, dude. It's like you have your playbook. You're going to run with it no matter what, hoping people didn't see. Who knows what's going on? We already have the transcript. Like Rush says, I don't think they thought that they did not expect that Trump was going to release the transcript. They thought, presidential privilege, he's not going to do that, whatever like that. He did it. So all of this, and again, why a whistleblower? It sounds so ominous, a do-gooder and stuff like that. But a lot of it is that with the whistleblowing, once you do that, you can't question that person, you can't reveal them, you can't examine possible motivations, you can't cross-examine them, you can't have a public hearing, kind of like what's going on with impeachment, because when they put Robert Mueller out for the public, failed miserably. When they put hauled up Corey Lewandowski there in the public hearing, failed miserably. When Candace Owens and some other people went up there, failed miserably. and you know, and I mean the Democrats. You know, that so let's so the point of view shifts here depending on the person I'm talking about, but I'm talking in general and the Democrats what they were trying to accomplish. So that's the common thread that weave through all these types of things. Because I can't get into specific facts of each one. We have to move too quickly here. I have to wrap this segment up too. So all these things, and then also Michael Cohen, former lawyer of Donald Trump, when they pulled him up against Congress publicly, failed miserably. Okay, the Democrats. So now, if you have this whistleblower, it sounds so ominous. It sounds like they're a do-gooder, but they can't be questioned publicly. They can't reveal the ID. I think this is all a fabrication. Then they're fabricating this obstruction of Congress meme. It's not even a real subpoena, but if you don't give us everything that we want, that right there is obstructing Congress, and that we're going to impeach you for. I mean, this is so silly. Right? And remember, again, as I said last segment, Robert Mueller, the special counsel, found nothing to indict Trump on. Well, let me flip that. He didn't indict Trump. Bottom line. I don't care about the characterizations in his speeches, he did not indict Trump, period, end of story. Therefore, that's it. That's it. The prosecutors do not exonerate. They either indict or do not indict. They did not indict. That's the end of the story. So this just happened just after Mueller wrapped. Do you believe that? I mean, do you believe that? I mean, come on, dude. This is so super convenient that Mueller had nothing to do with the Ukrainian thing. That as soon as Trump was cleared of that, then he goes out there and does something super crazy. Again, it's like if an officer pulled you over, you get off with a warning. Okay, you didn't speed. You're okay. I thought I saw something. You know, radar gun was off. Who knows what? Oh, it was someone else. It doesn't matter. You get off, and the first thing you do is just burn out sand right in the officer's face, and you go 100 miles an hour right after that. Who would do that? It makes no sense, dude. But you know what does make sense? The swampy nature of DC makes a lot of sense. And we're going to get into that next hour. I want to talk about this Biden-Ukraine deal, but I also want to talk about Clinton Global Initiative. And again, I'll touch on those very lightly because those have been talked about a lot. We talked about it in the show. But I want to really talk about the media, you know, hiring kids of famous politicians with huge salaries. I want to talk about the famous politicians' kids in these elite schools at super high rates. I want to talk about some other things that we're going to bring back just to string it along and just to put it all together. And when you look at that, you say, are we getting a fair shake here as Americans? That's what we're going to talk about next hour. You're listening to the John D. Villarreal Radio Show on 1210 AM Miami, The Man, the only station where you are the man.